Hi my loves, welcome back to the channel. It is Kay, your spiritual witch, your astrologer and numerologist. So as usual, I am back again with 5 key things to know about this new moon that's coming up in, well, a day or two. It could be the 2nd or 3rd of March, depending on where you are in the world. And it's a Pisces new moon. And I do love a Pisces new moon. It's always a good time to think big and think of the possibilities. So as a quick rundown, the 5 ways that we can manifest and 5 key things. We've got a Pisces stellium going on, which is here where I've circled number 1. You can see we've got the sun and the moon making up the new moon. And then we've also got Jupiter, which is in Pisces as well. And I would urge you at this point, if you haven't checked out the video on Pisces moving into Jupiter and what that means for this year, and especially if you are a Pisces or if you have a lot of Pisces in your chart, or even if you're just generally interested, because this particular planet under Pisces does bring a lot of good energy and luck for us this year. So that video will be linked below somewhere. It might just pop up as I'm speaking here now. The second thing that we've got going on is that Jupiter will conjunct the sun and moon, which is good energy as well. So we've got the green planet that looks like a number 4, which is Jupiter, where I've circled number 2. He will be conjunct the sun and moon. Then we've got Mercury and Saturn conjunct, which brings a whole new energy, which I will get into. We've got a Capricorn stellium going on, which is number 4, and we've also got Mars, Venus and Pluto conjunct as well. So let's see what all this means and how we can use it. So first of all, a Pisces stellium. So as I said, I do really like a Pisces new moon or a full moon as an astrologer, not just because I've got a lot of Pisces in my chart, but I think that this is a wonderful sign that brings about an energy of what could really be the possibility. And so we've got the sun, the moon and Jupiter all under this influence, okay, which we can see where I've circled here on the left hand side. So with Pisces energy, it's time to think big. It could be potentially for some of us a good time for romance, and Pisces will always heighten someone's intuition, and it will also lead you to start thinking about synchronicities, or synchronicities might start appearing in your life, but it's a very intuitive sign. Now, depending on where Pisces rules in your own chart, and I always say this, you can personalize this and see how this energy might help you to personally manifest, because this aspect here will be happening obviously somewhere in your chart, wherever Pisces is. Now, to keep this very general, as I always say, I'm just going to go over the energies generally. If you do want to look at your chart in more detail and understand how you can actually apply this to what personal area of life these energies might fall in, then check the links on Patreon, because I go through that with everybody personally. But generally speaking, you know, a Pisces new moon, a new moon is a new start. This new moon is also happening just before the equinox, you know, so we're changing season. We're about to move into a different part of the year, and it is a good time to really be thinking big under this Pisces new moon, especially with this stellium. Now, with Jupiter in the mix, this is what is going to be bringing that luck and expansion to our lives. And the degree that this is happening at, the Pisces new moon itself is like a midpoint degree, you could say, in astrology. It's around 12, well, it is 12 degrees. It's kind of midpoint. So it's like a checking in with yourself, checking in with your goals, checking in with your dreams, checking in with life. So this Pisces stellium, wherever this falls in your personal chart, is gonna force you to really focus consciously or unconsciously on this area of life. Now, why are stelliums so important? Because you've got essentially more than 2 planets under the influence of a sign. So you can have a stellium, and I have said this before in previous videos, because we've had a Capricorn stellium earlier on this year and at the end of 2021, but you can have a stellium happen in your own birth chart naturally, like I have, and I've actually got a Pisces stellium in my chart. So whatever sign your stellium falls under, if you have one in your birth chart, you will naturally have a lot of activity in that area of life. So say, for example, it was your 2nd house of finance, or your 5th house of romance, or even your 10th house of career and direction. You might find that you have a lot of events happen here. And for some reason, in this incarnation, wherever you have your stellium, this is naturally going to be where you are going to potentially face some challenges as well, depending on what planets are there with the stellium as well. But stelliums are very, very important because it forces us to focus. Now, you can also get stelliums like in everyday transits, like what's happening now, what happened at the end of 2021, and also we've got the Capricorn stellium, which I'll go over in a moment as well. So as the planets move around the sky, they can create stelliums themselves, and when they create these stelliums and when planets meet up, it forces you, or forces us here on Earth, to really focus in on the planet's energy and what the planets are actually telling us. In this context, we've got a new moon stellium involving Jupiter, which is the planet which looks like a number 4 at 14 degrees. So this is quite a close conjunction in the stellium, because you've got the new moon at 12 degrees and then you've got Jupiter only 2 degrees away. So this is bringing luck and energy to us, and for a new moon it is brilliant. So for any of you who like to do your rituals, if you want to start calling things in, if there's anything in your life that you feel that you need some luck with, this new moon could be a great time for that. Certainly money spells, money rituals, love rituals, you know, especially if you have this stellium fall in a money house. Like if you have Pisces ruling your 2nd house, or if you have Pisces ruling your 5th house of romance, or your 7th house of serious relationships, or even with your career and direction, you know, if you have it in your 10th house. So it could be a good time for doing those kind of spells and rituals as well. So generally speaking, the Pisces stellium on a new moon is bringing a real energy of luck and prosperity around us, wherever this will fall in your life, in your chart. Now, the second energy, to go into a bit more detail, as I mentioned, we've got Jupiter, which is the planet that looks like a number 4 at 14 degrees. So obviously this is causing a conjunction with the sun and the moon. So if you just look on the left hand side, you can see the moon at 12, you can see the sun at 12 as well, both with the Pisces sign, the sun being the yellow circle with a dot and the moon being the half moon in grey. So the sun and moon will naturally conjunct because that's what's given us a new moon. And then we've got Jupiter in the mix as well. Now Jupiter is that planet of expansion, hopes, dreams and luck as well. And again, I'll urge you to check out the video I did on Jupiter moving into Pisces, because you can understand Jupiter as a planet and his role and what he does a lot more. I'm not going to spend too much time on it in this particular video. But this energy of a conjunction, I like to call it, as an astrology, a conversation. It's a conversation that the planets have, which is basically how can we work together, because a conjunction is about unison. So we've got the sun and the moon creating this nice unison, working together, creating a new moon, new opportunities, and then you've got some luck thrown in there with Jupiter as well, speaking to the sun and the moon, saying, well, how can I help bring about some luck? The sun, you know, this is about growth, health, vitality, just to give you a few key words, and it's also a representation of the personality in astrology as well. Now, the moon is our emotions, and it can be our mother figures as well. So this energy is a wonderful kind of, you could say, well, it is a transit, is an aspect to have around the new moon, because it is very, very lucky. Now, as I mentioned as well, we've got the equinox coming up, so it's a new season, new changes. I say make the most of it. Go out, go crazy, go wild. If you're witches like me, you know, or people who like to cast spells and stuff and manifest with, you know, however you do it, be it with candles or whatever way you create your own magic, go out and do it, because now really is the time under this new moon. It's a great time for growth and drawing in what we want. So that's a wonderful energy. Now next, we've got a complete different energy coming up. We've got Mercury and Saturn in conjunction. So as I said, they're having a conversation about how can we work together. Now these are very two different and contrasting planets in a lot of ways, and it would take a complete separate video for me to break this down for you. But in a nutshell, Mercury is a representation of our thoughts and communication and travel. And Mercury is a more expansive planet. So what Mercury might touch, it would want to, you know, expand, a bit like Jupiter. Saturn, however, is the planet of hold-ups, challenges, but it's also, on the other hand, the planet of being very serious and mature. This is the planet that will test us in life, you know, and we all have like a Saturn return, which is a complete different subject as well. But we have one, you know, in our late 20s to early 30s, from about the age 29 to 31. And then we have one in midlife as well, probably the late 50s to early 60s. And this is where we get those sayings of midlife crisis from, because that's when we're due to have like our Saturn return. And also when we get to that age of 29-30, that's when we start to question ourselves, think about where we're going. Everybody has goals that they want to achieve, well, most people, before they reach 30 and so forth. So this is the kind of role that Saturn plays. But generally speaking, when you have these two planets meet up, it's going to do one of two things. The first thing is it's going to ask us to really take our thoughts seriously. Yeah, because you've got the planet of seriousness, the planet of being mature, Saturn, conjuncting and having a conversation with the planet of our thoughts and our communication. So that's one energy. So as we move through this new moon energy, I'd like everybody to, well, I'd advise you to, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'd advise you as an astrologist to really start taking your thoughts seriously. For others of you, or generally speaking as well, another energy about this aspect is that we've got a energy of holding back. You know, maybe keeping how you feel or what you're thinking to yourself, or I should say, maybe even having a hold up with generally hearing news about things that you're waiting to hear about, or maybe even some kind of hold up with communication, because as I said, Saturn can hold things up and he can kind of create that kind of challenge. So this could be around communication and thoughts as well. So these are two very different energies compared to what we saw with the Pisces conjunction, and also the Pisces stellium, I should say, sorry, and the conjunction with Jupiter bringing luck, you know, to the new moon. So be mindful of your communication, be mindful of your thoughts, and at the same time, take your thoughts and what you're feeling or what you're thinking. I'm not going to say what you're feeling because that would be the moon. Take your thoughts, what's coming to mind, any downloads that you have, any dreams that you have, quite seriously. Now, the other reason why I say that around this new moon it's a good time to kind of get serious with our thoughts is because this is all happening under Aquarius's energy. So if you look to the left here, you've got the blue, kind of turquoisey blue planet at 19 degrees, that would be Mercury, and then underneath that you've got the planet which kind of looks like a H with a cross at the top. This would be Saturn. So they're both sat there at 19 degrees, and above that you can see the sign for Aquarius. Now, anybody who knows anything about astrology, maybe you might already know this, Aquarius, well, I should say Saturn was the ruler of Aquarius. Okay, so this is good energy. Saturn under Aquarius is always a good thing. This is before Uranus was discovered, the planet Uranus, and Uranus kind of took over Aquarius. But we still associate these two together in astrology. We can't disregard it. This was the original ruler of the sign. And I'm an Aquarius myself, and I very much take both their energies, both Saturn and Uranus. You know, they both feed into the energy and the personality of Aquarius. So with Saturn under this energy, and Aquarius is a very logical sign. Aquarius, we are very to the point. We like facts, we like figures, or Aquarius, I should say, generally likes facts, likes figures, likes data, likes things that they can rely on. They're not really someone to kind of, you know, half-heartedly do something and kind of, you know, there's no grey area with Aquarius, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's either you either are or you're not. It is or it isn't. It's a yes or it's a no. It's black or it's white. There's no kind of in the middle when it comes to Aquarius. So this is another kind of heads up, you could say, from the universe, that when it comes to our thoughts, it is time to be very logical with them, very practical with them, to be quite serious with them, and to make sure that we're sure on things, and to rely on things like data and things that we can really rely on, rather than being willy-nilly. Now, to give this a bit of contrast or even context, you could say this is complete different energy, Aquarius, to Pisces. You know, Pisces is the dreamer of the zodiac, and that's the overall energy that we've got over the new moon. But Aquarius would be totally kind of against this. Not that Aquarius doesn't have big dreams, you know, it does, because it's a very ambitious sign, but it likes things so, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, if there's more logic and weight and facts around things, Aquarius is more likely to go for it than, and Pisces is just likely to say, yeah, okay, whatever, let's just go for it, let's see what happens. Do you know what I mean? So with this kind of Aquarius energy ruling this conjunction, be very serious and logical about things at the same time. You know, on one hand, the universe is asking us, if we go back on the last slide, to, you know, be lucky and to think big, with the Pisces stellium here. But while we're doing that at the same time, the universe is also saying, you know what, make sure that you are being logical about things as well. So keep that in mind if you are a big dreamer and you're about to go off and create your best life under this Pisces new moon. So be realistic about it and take your thoughts seriously. So we've got another another stellium, and this is in Capricorn. So this is another key thing about this new moon. So Capricorn, if you've heard me talk about this sign before, you will know I always refer to it as the hard work and achievements energy and sign, because it's exactly what it is in astrology. A Capricorn in modern astrology would rule over our 10th house, which is our direction. So this is where Capricorn gets that reputation from. Now, again, all of these key things are going to fall somewhere within your own chart, okay, depending on where Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces rule in your chart. So you're going to have different areas of life that these energies are going to naturally fall in for you. Everybody is going to be different. But generally speaking, wherever you have Capricorn in your chart is wherever the universe is calling you to kind of take this serious approach, you know, to try and achieve something. So again, if Capricorn is ruling, for example, I don't know, say your 8th house of shared finances, Capricorn could be asking you to really look over your debts or any kind of shared assets that you have, and to make sure that anything that you're sharing in life is as it should be. Given the fact that we've got a new moon and we've got this Capricorn stellium happening again, because we had it in January and we had it in December, so the stellium has been around for a little while. And if you've watched any of the other videos that I did on previous months about the new and full moons, you would hear me referring to this, saying that it's going to be in place for a little while. So what we've got is we've got this window of opportunity where Capricorn has really been, number one, trying to teach us something, because you could say this is a sign that does try to teach and get you to really focus on things. And we've also got Capricorn asking us to really get serious about something. Now, what that something is will depend on where Capricorn is in your chart. And again, if you want to do that in detail, then do check the links below and do join me on Patreon. But generally speaking, having this energy surrounding us, this is kind of like almost the final call for us to really get serious about a situation, person, place or thing, and really go for it, you know. And if we look at the planets that are involved in this stellium, we've got Venus, which is about our desires, love, money, art and beauty. We've got Mars, which is our drive, our determination, how we express our sexual energy. And we've also got Pluto, which is, you could say, our desires on a soul level. Some astrologers do call Pluto, and I would agree with this, a representation of the soul. If the sun is kind of like our personality and our outward being, then Pluto would be what's inside, and I do very much agree with this. Pluto is also the planet of transformation. It rules over things like karma, the underworld, sex, drugs, magic. It's a real rock and roll planet. I love Pluto. It is really interesting. Again, it's a whole new video to talk about Pluto, and maybe I'll do a video on some of the key planets and their energies. But Pluto is that planet that's going to transform things, and at the same time, it is a planet that can cause transformation that's not always comfortable, because the transformation that Pluto brings is for our sole purpose. You know, it's for our highest good. And if you were to look in someone's birth chart and look at their Pluto and look at the sign that the Pluto is under, look at the house that Pluto is in, and look at what aspects other planets are making with Pluto, it can clearly show you how a person can transform themselves in this life incarnation for their highest good. So Pluto is a very important planet. Now, these planets, these 3 planets, you know, are under this Capricorn energy, and this is the final push for getting together our desires, being motivated to get our desires with Mars, and to really transform it with Pluto. Why do I say this is the final call, or this is the final chance? Because if you look at the chart, you can see that these three planets, where I've circled it, are at 27 degrees. So they are at the end of Capricorn's, you could say, cycle. They're getting ready to move into Aquarius. They can only go up to 29 degrees. Now, granted, Pluto is a very slow moving planet, the slowest out of all of them, and Pluto could take his sweet time about moving, you know, and he could be in Capricorn for many, many months. Mars and Venus, not so much. They're much more quicker moving. But the point here is that this is the final call because of the degree. You know, they're going to shift soon. So this window of opportunity that I've been talking about since December 2021 is coming to a close. So now, under this new moon that we've got in Pisces, where the energy is about thinking big, and where the energy is about, you know, thinking of the possibilities, and, you know, you've got the Pisces stellium kind of urging us on and saying, yeah, let's go for it. Let's, you know, really, really delve into what it is that we want and follow our intuition and move forward. You've got Capricorn here saying, look, you know what, if you're going to do this, this really is the last chance to do it, because these are the planets that are going to help you to transform your desires and give you the motivation to do it. And now is the final call. So as I've said in previous videos from December, we've had this opportunity, and I really hope that people out there have been utilizing the first kind of quarter of the year to get their shit together, get their, you know, get what it is that they want, sow all their seeds before the equinox, so that when the equinox comes around, we can start moving into spring, or whatever season it might be for you, reaping what it is that we've put in the first quarter of the year, and also moving forward with what it is that we want. So this window of opportunity, guys, is coming to a close. So this new moon here that we've got, and I would probably say the new moon and the full moon, you know, the next couple of weeks, certainly as we move forward into the late stages of March and into April, it is time to really utilize Capricorn's energy. And I would urge everybody to check their charts, check where Capricorn rules in your chart. If you're not sure how to do it, I will hopefully link below a blog post that I did on how you can, it's up on the Spiritual Parlour website, how you can work out house rulerships in your chart. You can also join me on Patreon as well, and I've laid everything out for you. You'll be able to do it easily peasily, and you can follow all the aspects that's going on this month, for the month of March, and every month, because I'm doing it for all of 2022, and you can apply all these things that I'm picking out as key things that's going on in the universe that are supporting us to your own life, and not just hear it just generally in these videos. So I do urge you to check where Capricorn is, because Capricorn really has been trying to show us all something. And if you are a Capricorn sun sign, star sign, to keep it in general terms, us astrologers say sun sign, but if you're a Capricorn, then this is going to be pretty heartfelt, you know, because this is in your energy. This is going to be somewhere near your sun. And as I said, the sun is like a representation of the personality, you know, and how we experience life externally. So this Capricorn energy will be resonating highly for you. If you are a Pisces as well, you know, it's your personal power week. The new moon is going to be somewhere near your sun as well. And even if you're an Aquarius like me, having this conjunction, if we go back, having the Mercury and Saturn conjunction is going to be somewhere near your sun as well. So, you know, this could really impact on you. So we've got three kind of key signs that this new moon could impact. We've got Pisces, we've got Aquarius, and we've got Capricorn being the main signs that will be impacted in some shape or form as we move forward under this new moon. So to close out, in summary then, when it comes to, you know, our 5 key ways that we can manifest under this new moon, what I see as an astrologer is the universe is saying to us, you know what, it's time to set yourself up for the next season, 100%. The universe is giving us this very, very lucky new moon, with Jupiter's involvement with the conjunction, and it is a good window of luck as the sun moves through Pisces into Aries. Now, don't forget that Jupiter is going to be in Pisces for all of 2022, more or less. And check that video on Jupiter in Pisces if you want to know more about that, or how that will impact us here on Earth. The video should be linked below somewhere in the description box, or it might just pop up here somewhere where I'm speaking. But the sun and the moon are not going to be in Pisces forever. So this window of opportunity is not going to last forever. The moon's going to move off in about 2.5 days and move into the next sign. She's going to move into Aries. And the sun, he will be progressing himself through Pisces as we move through Pisces season and then into Aries as well. So if anything, the sun is really giving us the window of opportunity moving a lot slower, because it has to go through all of Pisces season. And obviously, as the sun at the moment is only at 12 degrees with the new moon. So he's got to get all the way to 29 degrees before he can enter into Aries. So, you know, with this aspect, and he's going to be obviously drawing further away from Jupiter. And what I should say as well is, when it comes to conjunctions and, you know, how we measure what a conjunction is and isn't, most newbie astrologers and most astrologers, as a general rule of thumb, you know, we're going to give it 8 degrees either side. So if Jupiter's at 14 degrees, we can go up to 8 degrees away from that, or 8 degrees underneath that, and we could say, yeah, a planet is conjunct. Most advanced astrologers, myself included, when we're doing certain kinds of astrology, we're going to bring that degree and that orb down a little bit more so we can be a little bit more accurate. But when we're doing general kind of forecasts like this and general speaking, we can use an orb of 8 degrees. So, you know, the more that the sun progresses into Pisces and then moves away, gets to 14 degrees and then continues through the sign and eventually gets to 29 degrees, when the sun is more than 8 degrees away from 14 degrees, that's when that conjunction is going to end. So basically, this is what I'm saying with the window of opportunity. We haven't got the whole of the Pisces season, but we've got a good chunk of it. We've got a good chunk of it, you know. We've got quite a few degrees to play with, so it's a good time, generally quite lucky. But you know, as I said, the universe is asking us to be serious with our thoughts, being mindful with your thoughts and your communication as well. On the other hand, be mindful with it, but also be serious. Give some serious consideration to what it is that you're thinking. So ask yourself, what is it that you're thinking at the moment? What is it that you are mentally, you know, processing? What downloads are you getting? What are you dreaming about? That kind of thing. Do dream big. You know, it's a Pisces new moon. Come on, you've got to. It's a Pisces new moon. The most wonderful thing about the sign Pisces, you know, it gives us that energy of dreaming big and being, you know, quite maybe even nostalgic about things and looking back as well. But the other energy of Pisces is that it can cause delusion. So I guess that's why we've got Mercury and Saturn in their conjunction, asking us to keep our feet on the ground as well, because Pisces can really take us off, you know, and let us start going beyond dreaming big and becoming delusional. But generally speaking, it's a good time to focus on your dreams. Now, again, we've got more energy supporting us and saying keeping your feet on the ground with Capricorn. You know, Capricorn's been there since December with this stellium, you know, creating an energy of, you know, I will achieve wherever this is going to rule in your chart, wherever Capricorn is in your chart. You'd have to check to see. And, you know, that's basically what I'd say, guys. It's a really lucky new moon. So go for it, you know, go for it. Have a good time. Try your luck with things. And if there's something that you are trying to manifest and you need luck on your side, then now's a good time. Now, this is very generally speaking. So I'm talking about positive things here. If you're someone out there who's, I don't know, trying to do something that's not so positive, but you would like luck on your side, now may not be the best new moon for it, because obviously new moons are good for new starts, new manifestations, and starting off like a positive cycle. I guess I could say anything that you would do in like a waning moon phase, so anything that you want to push away, or anyone that you want to push away, or any situation, person, place, or thing that you want to push away. For my witches out there, those of you that are trying to push things away or protect yourself from things, even though this is a very lucky new moon, now is not the time that you would do that kind of work, because we're in the wrong moon phase. So hopefully most of you would know that, but I don't want to cause anybody to think that, okay, I'm trying to protect myself from something, I'm trying to push away this situation, person, place, or thing. I'm going to do that ritual, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it now on a new moon, when really it's not the right moon to do it, even though it's a lucky new moon. This is a very positive intention new moon. So there we go, that's it. I hope everybody has a wonderful new moon. Do as well, I did do a pick a card reading the other day on blessings coming to you as we move into the equinox. So if you've made it all this way through the video, then it will be linked somewhere below, or it might just pop up here as I'm speaking as well. So go check that out, go see what blessings are coming towards you, go pick a card and see what could be coming your way as we experience the equinox around the 20th, 21st, depending on where you are in the world, of March. And have a wonderful new moon, and I will catch you in the new video.